everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button down below. Also, if you check the link down below, you'll see a Patreon link. Click it, you can become a Patreon supporter. All you got to do is click it, and you can recommend movies and music for me to review. Now, with that being said, we are here today with a review of a 2021 film. Yes, those do exist. It is called The Little Things. Now, this is, I believe, an HBO Max exclusive, Warner Brothers deal. It was in that bundle. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and check it out. This movie stars Denzel Washington, who we haven't seen in a very long time. Rami, who's, I think it's Rami Malek, who's plays Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. Shout out to my wife for pointing that out, because she was like, isn't that Freddie Mercury? And I'm like, that is Freddie Mercury. Anyway, and then we also have Jared Leto, also known as the world's worst Joker, but he also does some good shit. He was in Dallas Buyers Club. So, quick synopsis of the film. There is a retired, not a retired, but a deputy who apparently used to work for the LAPD and homicide division, I guess, as a detective. And he ends up coming back to LA on some just non-related stuff. And he ends up finding himself knee deep in a case that he himself was working back when he was in the bureau or the department, right? So we go on this wild roller coaster ride about him, I guess, rehatching the case and basically trying to, I guess, make amends with not being able to solve the case, and I guess being able to have some sort of peace of mind, right? And this case damn near, basically took everything from him at one point. He lost everything. And for him to come back and revisit it, it's like reliving those old memories and emotions, right? So, off top, take a sip of my drink. Off top, the cast sold me, right? I saw the cast and I was like, that is amazing ensemble of cast, and I want to see what this is about. And I was kind of disappointed, man. Like, this movie was not what I was hoping it would be. I really thought that this movie was going to be about, I just thought it was going to be better than what it was, you know? Like, you have freaking Jared Leto, Rami, freaking Denzel, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, there's no way in hell Denzel is going to be in a whatever part. But then he did play in The Equalizer, so I don't know. But I just had a high expectation for this film, and it just turned out to be just like one of those boring cop movies. And honestly, like, I thought, I was really disappointed by this. I really thought that it was going to be something better. It didn't live up to my expectations at all. And at some points, it made me feel like, is this at some point, I was really feeling like this might be a film adaptation of a book, but I don't think it is. I'll have to research that and look into it. If you guys know if it's a book, let me know. But from my knowledge, it's not a book. This movie lacked in a lot of departments. So first off, Denzel doesn't start doing Denzel shit until the end of the movie. That threw me off. Like, it didn't feel like a Denzel Washington movie until it got close to the end of the movie. Like, he did some Denzel type shit. And you're just like, okay, that's the Denzel that I know. I've been waiting for this dude to show up this whole damn movie, but he's just been playing this stale, boring, fat, he's just playing this very boring role as a detective. I'm not buying it, right? Like, Denzel as a detective, I can completely buy it, but his portrayal as this detective, it just came off as just like, I don't know, like unenthusiastic. Like, he just didn't care. It was just like a whatever type role, right? Like, I just didn't feel like he cared about this role enough, right? There's that. And then Rami, I just didn't buy him as a detective at all. And at points, like, I felt like I felt like Freddie Mercury was coming out in certain scenes. Like, he would say things, and I'm just like, that sounded kind of off, but okay. You know, your inner Freddie Mercury is coming out. That's fine during this movie. And then the only interesting character in this movie is Jared Leto, but like, you're not really introduced to him at all. Like, he's in the movie. When he does get on the screen, like, it's like, it's nothing unique, super unique about his character, but his character is interesting because of how he presents himself, how they set him up, and things like that. They set him up to be just like this really just cool character, like not cool, but I mean like very interesting character. But then like in the end, it falls flat because like it just doesn't deliver, right? It's very his character arc development or conclusion is very unsettling and unsatisfying, and you're just like, yeah, you know. And those three people were supposed to be carrying this movie, right? But 90% of the time, you're kind of bored with the characters. Not buying Rami as a freaking cop, as a detective. I just didn't buy it, right? I don't know why. I just couldn't get into it. Like, I couldn't buy him as a detective at all. Like, it just didn't. It didn't suit him. I don't know if it was just like his portrayal as a detective or what he believed a detective should act, but it just didn't. I wasn't buying it at all. Denzel Washington came off as very unenthusiastic, nonchalant. It was like whatever. It didn't. He didn't have a Denzel moment. Like I said, every movie has Denzel moments all throughout it. Like Denzel owns it. He puts his own spin on it. He puts a little bit of spice on it, you know. But this movie just didn't have it. Like until like I got to close to the end, it felt kind of Denzelish. But that's too much investment to get that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to watch a whole damn movie and then feel like not until I get to the end of the movie where it's like, okay, now it feels like a Denzel movie. Now I feel like I'm watching a Denzel Washington movie. I shouldn't have to feel like that. I shouldn't have to feel like I am putting up with mediocre storytelling and mediocre like just mediocrity in general in order to get to something that I know that I'm gonna like. Yeah, dude, this movie basically paid that cast for nothing. This movie, I don't know, like the way that it's billed. When you see the cast, you're like, damn, dude, this shit just screams Oscar. But once you see the movie, you're just like, it just screams trash, you know? I couldn't get into it. Like, I was watching it. I invested my time into it. But it just didn't do what it was supposed to do. And I don't know if this is just like an American film thing, but I've watched a lot of Korean and Spanish movies, as in from Spain, and they're freaking movies. They have detective movies and things like that and solving cases. They take unique spins on these detective stories. This movie really went with the cookie cutter, typical ABC format for this movie, and I personally just didn't enjoy it. In the final act, I saw kind of where it was going, and I'm just like, I really hope that they're not going to go for that. And then sadly they did, you know. So it was it's kind of embarrassing for a company to really pay some actors to do media. Like you're paying A actors, like A grade actors, like to play in these mediocre ass roles and to go with this mediocre ass script. And it's just like, it's kind of sad and pathetic that you would even put money behind a film like this, you know, like you would even put these actors in this situation. The movie just, to me, was okay. It wasn't anything fucking extravagant, something where I would just like, you need to watch this movie, you know? Like, it was very, very basic. It was very cookie cutter. It's nowhere near a movie like a Gone Girl or something. When I saw this, I was like, okay, maybe this movie's going to have some like Gone Girl stuff, you know? It's going to feel like a Gone Girl movie, you know? And the Gone Girl is a very excellent movie, by the way. So me comparing it mentally and having that expectation is like where it's going to be like, okay, it might be in this realm. I was completely, like I said, dissatisfied. Wife fell asleep. Like it wasn't a good look for this movie. For them, I'm kind of they better be glad that it went to HBO Max and it didn't go to the movie theaters, because if it would have bombed, especially if they would have put a lot of publicity behind it, it would have been very, very bad. So for Denzel to, I guess, come out of his hiatus to do this film, I'm sorry that he had to do this. Jared Leto, I'm sorry that you had to do this. You know, like, I'm sorry that these A-list actors that were involved in this movie had to suffer through this mediocrity, but this movie did not sell it. Now, I've seen way better movies than this. It's very cookie cutter. If you're going to do a detective movie or you're going to do something along the lines of that, like a murder mystery, a whodunit, whatever the case may be, at least try to be original with it. Try to find a different way to approach it or something. This movie just didn't do it for me. So, on this Cinema Chop Shop, we grade films in one or two ways. Either you will be spared, meaning that you have passed the line of mediocrity, and I would recommend people to watch this movie, or you will be bodied and thrown into the pits of hell. So this movie obviously is going to fall into the lesser of the two. This movie is getting bodied.
Get what you fucking deserve! I just caught me a mean body!
That's my thoughts. I would not recommend watching this movie. It's not something that I urge you to go see. It's not something that you need to go see. It's really something that you could pass on. You can pass on this film. You're not missing much at all. So that's my review. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. Whatever it is, throw it in the comment section down below. And until next time, you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button on the way out. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.